So good afternoon. Today I just want to ask you a question. Okay, how many times in a day do you reflect on something that's already happened and you can't let go of it? And just write that number down. Or put it a different way, how many hours of your day do you spend on things that have already happened, you can't change, but you've still gone over and over it? And just put that number in the corner. So it could be 10 minutes, it could be a minute and I let it go, or it could be, actually I stayed awake all last night worrying about that.
Yeah, that was me last night. All night.
Yeah. All right. Because we are going to ask in a minute if a colour pops into your head, grab that colour and just sit and hold that colour or put it onto the paper.
Grab a colour.
Yeah, just grab a colour, or if you need to come and find another colour, there's lots of colours about. Take that colour and just put something that represents that colour on a piece of paper. It could be a blob of paint. And just let your body resonate with that colour as you're using it. So if you had chosen the turquoise, just put some on the palette and start to use it on the page. Right? Because as we're using colours, we're resonating with the vibrations of the colour that you've chosen. So turquoise is about communication, not being able to speak about how you feel. Right? The royal blue is about the third eye.
Yep.
Pink is about self-love. And we've got some more turquoise over there, so that's about communication.
Some water in to
Yeah, of course you can have
paint.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realise I'd forgotten that you can't see
Oh,
it.
that's all right. Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so come back to here. Right. And I brought in a few things with me today because I think, for me, I like to do things visually so people can see. And that helps to remember the story. And if you're stressed at any time, just bear this in mind. So if you're stressed about something, you're far better off to go off and do something practical. A bit of gardening, or make a cup of tea, or do a bit of baking or something. Create a bit of music, draw a piece of artwork. Right? Because I brought this with me, right? Just because this came in my mind. Oops, got something hiding in there. Right. When this is sitting on my shelf, I can see all of that beauty in there. And this actually is something I had last year. Something my son bought me for Mother's Day last year, which is nearly a year round. And it always looks absolutely beautiful. And it keeps popping back up, it keeps dying off, popping it back up, because I think it's not probably in the right place at home. And
right plant, right place.
Yeah.
It needs it.
So for yourself, sometimes you're in the right place to experience what's going on, and you will still grow, you will still flourish. Right? But if I turn it around and I keep looking at all the stuff at the back there, where it's been stood against a cold window, can you see that, Nikki?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. At the back of it, it's all died off because it's been stood against a cold window. Right? Now, if you think about that symbolically, that's going forward. We've got all these feelings going on, and we're showing that to the front, but we're still carrying all this. Part of us is still feeling out of sorts because we're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or maybe we just think we are. Maybe we're in the right place to digest and think about everything that we're experiencing. Because your soul is there, knowing that at this moment in time you've got what you need within you to make that change. And that was the message I got this morning, as how many of us are living in the moment, or how many are living in the past. Okay. And just take it a stage further, I went downstairs because I had this message, it's a bit longer than that, and I'll tune back into it in a minute. And I went to the cupboard and there was hardly no honey left, and I'm like, interesting. Okay. Now, unbeknown to Paul, I've bought 2 jars at the same time.
Now, is it local honey?
It's local honey.
Right, where do you get that?
Crab,
I was saying to Sally, I need to know where local honey is.
yeah, Crab Lane in Bradwell.
Crab Lane?
Yes, near the butchers, next door to the butchers. They've got a whole shop for organic stuff.
Thank you, I was asking that question.
So thank you to Crab Lane, that's never for you. Okay. But anyway, I'd actually picked this up, and Paul went off on a little thing going, oh, we've got no honey. Oh, if only we have known. Oh, da, 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 da. He didn't give me a chance to go to the cupboard and pick the other jar up. And I just stood there with this jar in my hand, looking at it like this, and he's like, now what's she on about? You know, he knows that I'm twiddling something in my hand. And I said, well, there's enough for today, isn't there? And he's like, yeah, but if only I'd have known. He's gone over and over what the problem is. And I said to him, do you know what? I just love these jars. I love the shapes of them. And I just love jam jars. I've got this thing about collecting jam jars. And I said to him, this would be great for our workshop. Art workshop is, I think it's got all the colours. We can make a different colour for each part of the rainbow, can't we? And he just looked at me as if like, oh, lost the plot. But actually, how much time are we looking at the problem instead of the beauty that's still standing there? We don't look at the gift we've still got, do we? We look at the rubbishy bit that don't work out, or the thing that we're lacking. And if
it's a material, yes. But if it's something, it would be. Yeah, I think it's easy if it was a
material thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So taking that step further.
Yeah.
Yes, it's easy if it's of material. But if we're talking about emotion today, we can release those emotions as quickly, but we choose not to.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
We do choose.
Yeah. And we were talking about the spleen earlier and things like that.
Yeah.
And this guy on YouTube, because all these YouTube things keep popping up, he said if you press under here, like where the spleen is, you press under here and just put it out, get it out of your system. And you just keep right under there. Basically, you're saying, I acknowledge you've got pain and distress, and I'm putting a voice. If you're upset with your tummy, go into that space, think of a colour, whatever, like you've just done there, think of a colour that pops in your head, bring that colour into that space, and whatever voice comes out is like, ah, ee, or what the heck, and all the other words that you want to say, get them out of your body. And come back and then soothe your body and say, you're doing great, you're doing well. Yeah. Because just like these beautiful flowers here, and these have just come up in the last couple of days, which is amazing. I think, I've got to say, I don't know quite what they are. But I just saw them pop up this morning. I think they might have been there yesterday. And they're a little bit chewed out because something's been nibbling at them.
Something always does.
I do, yeah. But that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone's always got to be having a go at you.
To eat.
Yeah. Someone is always got to be having a go at you.
Yes, true.
Because you're attracting in those people to help you grow. And it's not what someone's doing to you that's the problem. It's the way you're reacting to it. Yeah? So we sometimes need to look back at what the triggers are. So that's why I say take it out of your head, put it on paper, I'm really upset about that, or I'm really angry about that, I feel really disappointed about that, or I'm really worrying and scared of that. Be honest with yourself, and then we need to do some self-healing. And we can't do it all in one little go today, but just something as simple as like holding that pressure point on halfway down your arm and going, it's okay, Ali, I've got you. And breathe. And just taking that moment to change and rearrange your thoughts. Because then your body starts producing the feel-good chemicals as opposed to the harsh ones that create outer problems or even bigger internal. Right. And these have been sitting dormant since last year. I didn't even know there was anything in the pot. And often we don't know what's inside of us, do we?
No.
If you think about it.
No.
In that place where we feel dormant and like nothing's happening in your life, that's when you're growing often the most. So that's why it's really important to not try to rush yourself forward when you're feeling agitated. Because if you're agitated when you try to push forward, you're going to get more of the same results. Because you try to do things from a place of fear. If you take a little time to calm yourself and be at peace, and ask your soul to come in and work with your soul, your higher self, what can I do to help me here? You can ask, why is this happening? Because it might get a memory trigger. But how can I help myself today with this situation? And it might be do nothing. It might be just be at peace with it, or learn to be at peace. So you say deep inner peace. And you keep repeating that to yourself. Just deep inner peace. And not only are we bringing in those thoughts, which starts the trigger of the feel-good chemicals, we're bringing in a quieter space for your mind. You're distracting your mind from what you were thinking. Yeah? So that flow of harsher chemicals slows down and starts replacing it with a flow of cool, calming chemicals, which are the feel-good chemicals. The oxytocin, the dopamine, serotonin. And if we can actually be aware of that, just that one awareness of one thing throughout your day, you're either acting against yourself or you're acting with yourself. You're either fighting yourself or you're soothing yourself. And like this morning, I thought, oh gosh, look at these snowdrops. I just love these snowdrops. It's a time for snowdrops, isn't it? Aren't they beautiful?
Beautiful.
They're so delicate and so soft. And they've sat there all year just waiting to pop out. They don't really belong in a pot, but there's some my dad gave me last year. And as I was actually pulling it out the pot, one dropped off. And I'm like, oh no. But actually, it's still beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, really pretty.
And when I was having a conversation with someone this morning, I was reminded by my friends upstairs, it's like, this is still beautiful. Sometimes all of our roots, as everything has been stripped away, but you are still beautiful. And sometimes life takes everything that is comfortable from you to allow you to stand on your own and be yourself. That's when we sometimes go into panic though, don't we? But remember, you've got everything you need still within you. And that's why we come together as friends, as groups, in communities. Okay, one more. That's all right. So just a little demonstration here, because this was me. I forgot to water the plants, as you do. So this one was one last year. It literally was in here last year. And I literally forgot it. It was over in the corner there behind the tree. And it just died off. And actually it's probably not been that well looked after because it's really dry. But actually look at it. How beautiful is that? And that's with the neglect. So that's been neglected and not cared for. But it's been at home on the windowsill and tucked behind loads of other plants. And it's still come up beautiful.
Oh.
Why do we focus on the fact that we've been so neglected that things have gone wrong, when actually we've still got that beauty within us? And we can still blossom from where we're at. And this one as well. I only bought this about a week ago, I think. I bought it with some others, and I bought it in, put it in the windowsill because I thought it looked really pretty. Completely forgot to give it any water. And it all died off. And I've got another one at home which is nowhere near as healthy as this because it needs more love, needs more care. It's going to take longer to revive. So thinking about yourselves, if we've been neglected, if we've been put down, if we've been not looking after ourselves, that beauty is still within us. But we just need to be a little bit more kinder, a little bit more nurturing, get a bit more self-care, give it a bit more water, a bit more light. Bring that light into yourself and you will blossom. Just because things have gone wrong, and I think that's the message I was getting this morning, because something's gone wrong, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It means that something in here is crying out to say, it doesn't feel right, so I'm stepping back, I'm going to be myself for a while. I'm going to process what's happening. I've got to be kind to myself for a little longer. And then when I'm ready, I can step back in. And, you know, we've all done it when we get into panic mode. I do. Oh God, that was my pattern for years. So, you know, we're going to keep triggering, going back to our old patterns. If we're looking at those patterns, they've been there to help us. Why wouldn't they help us now, when we've stepped out to do something new today? You've got the capability within you. And I just want to use one more as a demonstration because I think this was actually, this is something that Nikki did last year. Do you remember a plant, Nikki, last year where you had to cut it out?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
This beautiful plant, honestly, it was so sad. It had gone all yellow and horrible. and that looked really neglected. And Nikki, it took about an hour, didn't it?
Yeah.
To sit and just cut all the dead bits out.
Yeah.
And I took it home, put it in a different environment, and look at it. It's quite beautiful.
Mhm.
So I thought I've got to bring that back today as part of my story. Because, you know, what do you do if something's neglected? If your animal or your friend or someone's feeling neglected, you'd give it some love, wouldn't you?
Mm.
You'd give it some care. Because we gave this some care and you took the time to nurture it and take away the dead bits and, you know, for yourself, take out those thoughts and put them on paper. Honour the fact that they don't serve you. Put them on paper for the moment and let's work through it together. Because now we've got a beautiful, thriving plant. And just like this is thriving, so can you. And this is why, for me, like just going into quiet space and doing breath work or listening to my thoughts, a bit of mindfulness, and creating something on a piece of paper gives my mind a quiet space. And in that quiet space, your body can start to reset itself. The vagus nerve, I think it's called. And there's other things you can do for yourself, but the simplest thing you can do is to stop and be. Maybe just tapping on here and go, let's get this stress out of my body. Although I'm feeling stressed today, I still love and approve of myself. Although I'm feeling stressed today, I love and approve of myself. Because everything that's beautiful is still within you. It's just some parts of you need a bit more care before you step forward again and rearrange your life. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn this. Oh, sorry. I'm going to turn this off now. I've forgotten I was talking to a camera. Okay, I'm going to turn this off because I think if we take one message from what we're doing today, it's about learning to enjoy this moment. If something's out of balance, let's see how can we bring it back into balance. Because I was sent a message out to someone, and I was talking to her about connecting with her about art workshops and her coming along. And she said, well, is it just an art workshop? And I said, no, it's not just an art workshop. It's more than art. And it's more for you. Whatever you need from this session, you take from it. Because this is about you discovering yourself. And we're just giving you an hour, maybe a couple of hours, where you can come and reset yourself. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. I'm looking forward to seeing your masterpiece in a minute. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.